Okay, sorry to be a jerk starting off this packet here, but these same people whining on this standard that they do not get it are people that are they just will not read the directions. They won't listen to what I have to say. And then they come back and say, well, I don't get these. Well, okay, it might help if you listened and actually followed the steps right here and not worked on the video 500 miles an hour. Okay? If you're doing that, that's not my fault. That's yours. That's on you. Okay? Simple as that. So how long this video is, if I see you back here when it's like 10 minutes, well, that's kind of on you. You don't really care to understand it, so that's going to be your deal, not mine. Okay, solve inequalities. And you know you are. I heard people whining about it the other day, and it's because they don't listen. They don't want to follow the steps or anything like that. Okay. Okay, you draw a number line with 0 in the middle. You make sure all the x's in the problem have a number in front. Okay, so I put a 1 there. No don't have any parentheses. You can't have more than one x. Okay, well, that's the only x I got. We're good there. Dot and circle your x term. Again, if you're just impatient right now, sorry, that's your... Okay. Decide if the sign needs to be switched. If it's a negative dot, yes. Positive dot, no. That's a positive, so you don't switch. If that is positive 1, do not switch it, so it stays the same. Okay, add or subtract outside the circle if you need to. Yeah, I got a +4. Okay, so I got 1 dot x, the sign, and then I take -7 plus 4, 3, -3. Divide and put your answer here when you divide. Okay, so divide by 1, so I got the x and -3. Okay, so -3 is a number I put down here. You want to circle the lines there, so fill it in. And the nose points this way, so it's going to go this way. Okay, number 2, draw a number line with 0 in the middle. Make sure all x's in the problem have a number in front. It has a 4 there already. Okay, no parentheses. Okay, there are none. Cannot have more than one x. That's not a problem. We only have this solo x right there. Dot and circle the x term. Okay, if you're failing to do little stuff like this, you know, because you don't feel like it, don't come complaining to me about it. Okay, don't do that. Okay, decide if the sign needs to be switched. Well, if that's a negative in there, we switch it. It is a negative, so we need to switch the sign. Switch that. Add or subtract outside the circle if you need to. No, I don't need to. Divide. And you want to put your answers over here. So I have x. -12 divided by -4 is +3. So this time the critical number is 3. The line's not there, so don't fill it in. And the nose goes this way. Okay, number 3. Draw a number line with 0 in the middle. It's right there. Okay. Make sure all x's in the problem have a number in front. Okay, I don't want to look at this anymore because it's a fraction. So I just make a fraction over here to match. Now, circle the number under the x. You are going to cross multiply and divide, but that number is positive, so don't switch it. Okay. So we're going to leave that the same way. Okay. And now I multiply and divide. I take 5 times -3, because those are diagonals, and then divide by the 1 that's diagonal from the x. 5 times -3 divided by 1 is -15. So you got your x from over here, and now over on this side you have -15. Okay, so -15, you want to circle that, fill it in, and the nose goes this way. Again, the reason why like on this one, you switch the sign, because anytime you divide both sides by a negative, well, if you divide or multiply by a negative number, any number, the sign changes. So then that changes everything to the opposite. Okay, number 4. Draw your number line, 0 in the middle. Make sure all the x's in the problem have a number in front. Okay, that has an 8 in front. There are no parentheses. Cannot have more than one x. We only have a solo x, so I don't have to worry about that. Dot and circle the x term. Decide if the sign needs to be switched. Well, is that a negative inside there or not? Because that's a multiplication division number. No, that's not a negative, so don't switch it. It's positive, so keep that sign like it is. Okay, add or subtract outside the circle if you need to. Well, yeah, we got a plus 32. Get that out of there. Minus 32. Okay, so I've got 8.x, got the sign, and then I take negative 8 minus 32. It's negative 40. Okay, now it's time to divide. So I've got x, and then negative 40 divided by 8 is negative 5. Okay, negative 5, circle. You don't want to fill it in because the line's not there, and if the nose goes this way, it goes in the direction of the nose. Number 5, draw your number line, 0 in the middle. Make sure all the x's in the problem have a number in front. Yup, they do. No parentheses, that's not a problem. You can't have more than one x. Well, that is a problem here because I have a 6x and a 3x. Okay, so I need to do this. Are they on the same side or are they on opposite sides? Well, here's the sign I circled. Looks to me like they're opposite. Switch the right to its opposite, so it's 3x. Opposite would be negative 3x, so that means I'm minusing that over here. 6 minus 3 is 3x, and then minus the 4, and then the sign, and then 14. Okay, now dot and circle the solo x that you have. Is that a negative? No. Don't switch. The sign stays the same if that's positive. Okay, add or subtract outside the circle if you need to. Yeah, I do need to. Minus 4, so plus 4 plus 4. So 3.x, the sign, and then 18. All right, now divide. You fill in under the number line. Now you're ready to put your answer, but you want to put it here. You got x and you got 6. Okay, 6 being the critical number. Circle, fill it in, the line's there, and that's going to the right. So there you go. Nose points right, arrow goes right. It's greater than. Okay, number 6. Negative 6 is less than negative 3x plus 9 is less than 21. Draw the number line, 0 in the middle. Make sure all x's in the problem have a number in front. There's the only x, it's got a number in the front. No parentheses, there are none. Can't have more than one x. I just have a solo x here, that's good. Dot and circle the x term. Decide if the sign needs to be switched. Is that dot number negative or positive? Because that's a multiplier and or divider. Okay? It's negative. Switch. But you have two signs you have to switch. There's 2 of them. So they both go the opposite way. And you're going to put x in the middle of the signs because you want x just by itself. Add or subtract outside the circle if you need to. Yeah, I have a plus 9 here. Remember, I don't care about these, okay? Outside the circle, and there's a plus 9. So you need a minus 9 here and minus 9 there. Okay, so I take negative 6 minus 9, negative 15. And then I got my negative 3 dot x. And then I have my sign. If you're too lazy to write this out, fine. That's on you. 21 minus 9 is 12. That's not everybody in the whole class. Some of you know who I'm talking to. Okay, and then I divide by negative 3. And this needs to be divided by negative 3, and so does this. Okay. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 is 5. Then you get x, and then 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. Okay, so the two letters are 5 and negative 4. So 5, negative 4. Circle. The bars aren't there. You just connect them. Okay, number 7, negative 4x plus negative 3 plus 5x is less than 3. Draw the number line with 0 in the middle. Make sure all the x's in the problem have a number in front. Well, there's an x that has a 4. There's an x that has a 5, so that we're good there. There can't be any parentheses. There are none. You can't have more than one x. Well, I have more than one x. I have this and this. So let's read on. This time, are they on the same side or are they on opposite sides? Seems to me, here's my sign, they're on the same this time. So if they're on the same, you do your adding pyramid. Okay, negative 4 plus 5, simple as that, 1. Okay, now you need to add your negative 3 before you write the inequality, less than 3. Okay, now you can dot and circle your solo x term. Now you can also decide if you're going to need to switch the sign. Now that 1, is that negative or positive? It's positive, so don't switch. It says don't switch, leave it the same. Okay, add or subtract outside the circle if you need to. Well, I have this negative 3. I need to add it if it's negative. And I have 1 dot x. I have the sign. And then I have 6. Okay, now it's time to divide. Now fill that answer in under here. So you get x with 6. So 6 is your answer. It's the only number you have, and the nose goes that way, so it's just going to go this way. Didn't fill it in because I don't have the line. Okay, now we have 2 we're going to graph. And the graphing part, basically you need to pay attention to these 2 main ones here. Okay, this is what to do if x and y are on opposite sides. This is what to do if they're on the same side. Here's my sign. Here's y, here's x. Well, they're on opposite sides, so opposite. So I would be best to graph it using a slope and a y-intercept of the inequality. So slope, y-intercept. Okay, so the slope is the number in front of the x right there, negative 3 over 4. The y-intercept is the number being added to the x term, which is 7, so positive 7. Now you want to graph your y-intercept first, okay? It's up or down. You're going to go up because it's positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to put directions on my slope. It's always rise over run, so up or down. This one would be down, and it's always a run to the right. And that goes from the first point, not the middle. Okay, so not from here. I go from here. So down 3, right 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I can connect those lines. Okay, now we're going to do the true-false test. You just replace both x and y with 0. Okay, this is my 0. Put them in for x and y. Here's the y. You don't need a parentheses for that. There's no number here. It's just 0. Here's my x. I'm going to put a parentheses around it, then scribble it out and put 0. Okay? So what do you see right there? 0. What do you see there? You see the sign. Then you see a bunch of crap here. Negative 3/4 parentheses 0 plus 7. Okay, so I'm going to punch that in. By the way, it doesn't matter if that's a fraction or not. You take anything times 0, it's 0, but we do have to add the 7 to it. Okay, here, I'll even do this. So I have negative 3/4 parentheses 0 plus 7. Okay, 0. Plug it in. Okay, plug the other side in. I got 7. Okay, so that side is now 7. Okay, 0 is my smaller number, so the small guy is right there, and this nose should point towards him, but it doesn't. That makes it false. Okay, 0 is not greater than or equal to 7. So that's F over that point. Okay. This is where the 0, 0 was. If this is F, put an F above that middle point. And the other side's true. Okay, number 8. 4x plus 6y is less than or equal to 24. Okay, here's x, here's y, here's the sign. This time it appears they're on the same side. So I'm going to want to graph this way with the x and y intercept. So I put 0 for x and 0 for y. Then I write the equation twice. Notice how I said equation. So I'm just going to write a plain old equals for that. So 4x plus 6y equals 24. 4x plus 6y equals 24. Okay, x is 0. Well, get rid of the x in. And then we'll divide both sides by 6 because it's 6 times y. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Okay, if y is 0, we get rid of y, and then I'll divide 24 by 4 to find what the x equals. That's 6. Okay, now let's get those points graphed. Okay, the 0 means stay, and then the y is up or down. In this case, it's going to be up. So stay, go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, since you have an XY table, you go back to the middle, and then you go sideways, and then stay. Okay, so right or left? Well, 6 is positive, so it'd go to the right, and then stay. So I go right 6 and stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, make your line. Okay, now it's time to decide which side has all the true points, which side has all the false points. If it's just a regular equals, all the true points are just the ones on the line. But with the less than greater than, they're going to be on one side as well. Okay, find the easiest point on a graph right here. At that point, x is 0 and so is y. It's called the origin. Okay, now I need to replace both the x and y with 0. So x has a 4, put it in parentheses, scribble it out, and put 0. Y has a 6 in front, scribble it out after you put a parentheses and put 0. So what do I have? Well, I have 4. I have a parentheses with 0, plus 6. I have a parentheses with 0, and then the sign, and 24. So I can just figure that out. I mean, you plug in, it's going to be 0 because you're timesing two things by 0 and then adding them together. Well, then it's 0. Then the sign, and then 24. Okay, what's smaller? 0's smaller, okay? So does the nose point towards a smaller number? Yeah, it does, okay? There's a nose, smaller number. That's a true statement, okay? So true. If it's true, you put it true. This is where the 0, 0 point comes from. And then over on the other side of the line has all the false points. Any point I pick over here and put it in for x, y, I'm going to end up with a false statement. Anything over here, I'll end up with a true statement.